John?
Okay, so ever since I had that share where I just shared in a very public space a few weeks ago that I'd struggled with pathological lying. I just been in a weird headspace, and it's not a bad headspace, but it's not a good. It's just a headspace, and I've been sitting in my. I find myself in many circumstances sitting inside myself, and just looking at everything. And when I talk, you think that, oh, the focus is going to be on whether I'm telling the truth or not. But seeing as most of the time I'm being rather truthful, nothing's changed because now I'm looking at all the motivations I have whenever I open my mouth to speak. And it hasn't ruined my life. It's just made my life very uncomfortable. Because recognize, oh, I'm saying this because I think I have something important to say that's really not that important. Or I'm saying this because I think it'll make me look cool. Or I'm saying this because I think it'll make me look smart. Or I'm saying, and just all the character traits that are part of me, just being there for the analysis of like this inner person inside of me, which is, I nurtured and meditated and grew being there. It's been an uncomfortable process, but I do find myself sitting in that space, and it's not a space of judgment. It is a space of curiosity. I go, what's going on here, And I'm finding that out, and that's good. And because of that, I started a writing group, and we meet at 4:30 before we do drop in and write on it's now Thursday nights. It used to be Tuesday nights, and I've not been able to write very well because every time I write, it's like I find myself in the space. Why am I writing this? And it's not like it's the end of my ability to write creatively. It's just a change. There's something else going on in that process. And it's been tough, but anyways, it's been I don't want to say egging me. It's just been a very new experience, and starting a new job, and I had another thing where I chose to be a paraeducator as opposed to just a regular classroom teacher, and I went into the paraeducating, and word has gotten out that I was a certified teacher, and one person asked me, why, so you're just going to give up and just be a para teacher? And I found myself defending myself, in a way, oh, all this is going on where I was at before, and I just, decided to do this. And then I go, no, that's not the route I wanted to take with this. The route I wanted to take with this is I'm very proud of the decision I'm making. And I own the decision I'm making. And I look forward to the opportunity to work with smaller groups of kids and just focus on education and not all the other stuff that teachers are required to adhere to. But I found myself in that seat of shame. So I think I'm just seeing that core person who was behind that. When I did lie a ton, just made up crazy stories, that person's still with me. That face. I won't even call it a person because it's not a person. It's a face, right? It's a presentation to the world. It's still with me, and it's been like an introduction. It's been an introduction. It's like, oh, nice to meet you fully. Nice to see you fully. Nice to see the little teeny things from my seed consciousness that you're made of, right? And it's been, and again, it's uncomfortable. I will go with uncomfortable. It's not bad. It's uncomfortable. So it's affected my ability to be creative. So I was thinking, what am I going to do for a meditation tonight? And I didn't feel anything. And I thought, well, just share why it was hard to do a meditation tonight, and then recognize that I have probably dozens of meditations that I'd prepared over the years that are available to go. So I did go with one. And the one I picked, I look at the quote at the top and I go, well, isn't that interesting? I wonder if I subconsciously saw the quote and thought, oh, let's do this one, right? But J. Krishnamurti wrote, the man who has progressed from being a sinner to a saint has progressed from one illusion to another. So, and again, that when I read that quote and I think, wow, so even after I do find this face and see what this face means, and there's a potential this face may not just go away. It may just be something I live with, or it may go away, right? But if I begin to see myself as another face, a face that doesn't do this, and become very identified with that face, then I've just traded in one lie for a different lie, right? And J. Krishnamurti, I imagine, has had experience with this since they had a practice and they got to see all this, right? And what I wrote below it crazily sounds like a poem. So these were the notes of how I wanted to share, but I'm just going to read it like a poem, then we'll go into the meditation. And this is how a lot of time my notes look. A child's temper tantrum is the child experiencing their real emotions. Crying and laughing are two of the healthiest things we can do. I struggle with crying. Most of us repress our emotions. Repressed emotions get trapped in our body, mind, and spirit. And then I wrote, scream, plastic baseball bat, exercise, sing loud, dance, write a nasty letter and burn it. And with that, I'll invite us to go into our meditation. Just whatever, if you're lying or sitting or walking. I know some of us walk when we come to this meeting. I've seen people driving, coming to these meetings. Whatever you're doing, just make yourself comfortable. And if you're moving, safe. Be safe. Give yourself space to take a few breaths just to rest into this. Feel your body secure in the palm of the earth, resting at ease and safe. Inhaling, visualize yourself inhaling vast quantities of sky. Feel inexhaustible atmosphere expand in your lungs. Exhaling, release everything back to the sky. Be like the lotus, turning mud into beauty. Be your own Buddha nature, allowing consciousness to be born of earth and sky, ocean and cosmos. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. We are going to inhale the suffering of others and exhale healing light. Like a lotus, we will transform suffering into liberation. This is perfectly safe. We will not be depleting or harming ourselves in any way. Our Buddha nature will transform this suffering. Imagine someone you love who is suffering. Of course, you want them to be liberated of their suffering. See their face, the color of their hair, the way they smile. Hear the tone of their voice or the way they laugh. Smile with your whole being. A smile the size of the sun and filled with light. Visualize their suffering as a dark cloud emanating from and surrounding their whole being. They are suffering so much. Breathe in deeply their suffering. Inhale this dark cloud in its entirety. Accept their darkness with lungs as large as the sky. See the suffering turn to light, filled with liberation and compassion. Gleefully release this light without hesitation and resistance. See your loved one cloaked in this light. See them become filled with this light, luminous and free, and say, may you feel safe. May you know your belonging. May you realize the truth. May you be free from fear. May you experience your fearless heart. Imagine someone you know only casually who is suffering. You may not grasp all the ways your life is bound to theirs. And that's okay. Of course, you want them to be liberated of their suffering. For today, I see a homeless person I met at the Rosars parking lot. I'm remembering them right now. There are myriad homeless people everywhere. Many are addicted, traumatized, or mentally ill. See these people wandering in the early morning or begging for money in the hot streets. Smile with your whole being, a smile the size of the sun and filled with light. Visualize their suffering as a dark cloud emanating from and surrounding their whole being. They are suffering so much. Breathe in deeply their suffering. Inhale this dark cloud in its entirety. Accept their darkness with lungs as large as the sky. See the suffering turn to light, filled with liberation and compassion. Gleefully release this light without hesitation and resistance. See this human being cloaked in this light. See them become filled with this light, luminous and free, and say, may you feel safe. May you know your belonging. May you realize the truth. May you be free from fear. May you experience your fearless heart. Imagine someone you dislike or even hate who is suffering. You may not want this person to be liberated of their suffering. Rest in your Buddha nature and know if they recover, you recover. If they are happy, you are happy. Your practice, your recovery, your happiness is connected to their recovery, their happiness, their liberation, just like an arm is connected to a shoulder. See their face, the color of their hair, the way they smile. Hear the tone of their voice or the way they laugh. Smile with your whole being, a smile the size of the sun and filled with light. Visualize their suffering as a dark cloud emanating from and surrounding their whole being. They are suffering so much. Breathe in deeply their suffering. Inhale this dark cloud in its entirety. Accept their darkness with lungs as large as the sky. See the suffering turn to light filled with liberation and compassion. Gleefully release this light without hesitation and resistance. See this sentient being cloaked in this light. See them become filled with this light, luminous and free, and say, may you feel safe. May you know your belonging. May you realize the truth. May you be free from fear. May you experience your fearless heart. Imagine the whole of humanity and the whole of the earth. Feel the whole of the earth and multitudes of mankind suffering from the abuses of our endless greed, hatred, and ignorance. Of course, you want every sentient thing to be liberated of its suffering. See the bloated and growing sea of humanity. See the creeping beings of the earth, all the swarming beings of the sky, all the swimming beings in the ocean. Observe all the life we can't see, yet rely on for our survival. The plankton that makes the air, the microorganisms that make the earth give birth to all the things we eat and enjoy. Hear the songs of the earth, our home, the roar of the ocean, the cacophonous symphony of sky, the endless hum of traffic. Smile with your whole being. A smile the size of the sun and filled with light. Visualize the suffering of all as a dark cloud emanating from everything. Everything suffers so much. Breathe in deeply its suffering. Inhale this dark cloud in its entirety. Accept its darkness with lungs as large as the sky. See the suffering turn to light filled with liberation and compassion. Gleefully release this light without hesitation and resistance. See everything cloaked in this light. See it all become filled with this light, luminous and free, and say, may you feel safe. May you know your belonging. May you realize the truth. May you be free from fear. May you experience your fearless heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. Inhaling. See yourself as clear and open as pure blue sky. Let yourself be filled with infinite light. Let it fill your entire being. Exhaling, release any suffering that may have glued itself to your being. See it leave you as a swarming darkness that disappears when it encounters the sky. May you feel safe. May you know your belonging. May you realize the truth. May you be free from fear. May you experience your fearless heart. Namaste.
with the dedication of merit.
Thanks everybody for your shares, and I heard stuff that helps me grow. And I said scream. I remember I can be an anxious person, and there are times in the job I just came from where I would be so anxious about things, or so concerned, or maybe so afraid or so angry that I wanted to release that energy. So I'd roll down my windows so I wouldn't damage my hearing. And then I would just scream for, I don't know, a minute or so. And it was, well, you feel a bit awkward sometimes because I'm pretty sure people could hear me. But other than that, it really released the energy. And I got the idea from Eckhart Tolle when he talks about how two ducks or swans swimming in a lake, and one will bump into the other, and the other will just go, wah, wah, really fast and fly off and then stop. And then his interpretation, his way of seeing that was that swan was just burning off the energy of that irritation and letting it go so it could just go back to just being peacefully gliding on the water. So that's what I see it as. I'm just screaming out the energy. And I suspect it stopped some panic attacks. I don't know, because I didn't have the panic attack, right? But it felt like it was coming on. Just an idea. Let me get because I want to use what we used tonight in the meditation. Okay. May we feel safe. May we know our belonging. May we realize the truth. May we be free from fear. May we experience our fearless heart. Namaste.